So the truth comes out. USAID funded Boko Haram. I gotta say, I'm shocked but not surprised. For the last 10 years, I've been all over Nigeria, from the halls of power to the front lines of genocide to the IDP camps where widows and orphans of massacre live and have been stuck there for 10 years with nothing. I know as a fact, and people there know too, that Barack Obama is the one who started this on purpose. I can prove it. The U.S. government has fueled this, hidden it, and so has the United Nations and the Nigerian government. It's a tragedy and a travesty, and it's stopping now. You cannot hide from the truth. It is time for justice. It is time for restoration. Thank God for the truth.
President Buhari was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US.
All right, guys, still on the update of USAID and how Obama connived with APC to make the government of GoodLuck Jonathan ungovernable for him. I feel like this video is just going to be all over the place because I have so much to share with you guys and I don't even know where to start from. So let's start with how much this USAID has spent in Nigeria, claimed to have spent in Nigeria between the period of 2022 to 2024. It is alarming. The numbers are so shocking. In just 3 years, the USAID allocated $2.8 billion, not naira, $2.8 billion to Nigeria. And you know the shocking part about this whole thing is that most of the things they claim to have spent this money on is something that we have on our own yearly national budget. Our leaders go out to borrow money for these same things. So let me break it down for you guys. According to the USAID's official record, $1.4 billion was supposedly spent on health, yet our hospitals are collapsing. $887 million went to humanitarian aid, yet Nigerians are suffering more than ever. $141 million was allocated for economic development, yet the economy is worse than ever. 16 million was directed to peace and security, yet terrorism. I think this is the only place they got it right, but they are not being honest with the money they spent in this area. You see this terrorism issue, they said they only I think is even like the place where they are telling us now that they spent the lowest money, but in reality it is not so. And the reason is because instead of spending this money to provide security like they have portrayed it here, they are spending the money to empower insecurity. So I ask again, where are all this money going to? Because Nigerians are not seeing any redevelopment. But I like what is going on. In the last 24 hours, this issue of USAID has really sparked reaction. And Nigerians are not taking it lightly. Before I get to the other videos I want you guys to watch, one person here wrote, Nigeria has received more than $5 billion in USAID funding, yet there has been no meaningful development that the funding has been used for. Now, talking about Obama's role and how these Western leaders, especially the US, sponsor insecurity in Africa. I saw this video and I shed tears because this is exactly what we saw during the time of GoodLuck Jonathan. So the First Lady of Sierra Leone settled down to expose how these Western leaders destabilize African government when the leaders refuse to follow their orders. She openly admitted that African countries are not free because they are being controlled, manipulated, and sabotaged by foreign powers. Let's watch the video, and I want to beg you to please pay attention to what this woman is saying because her words gives me goosebumps.
What Africa gives to the world, Europe don't have it, America don't have it, Asia don't have it. As a First Lady, I am not part of a government system. So when I speak on behalf of the people because I understand what the people are going through. At the end of the day, I'm not being paid salary and I cannot be fired either. We cannot wait for other people to come and develop us. Every mining company that is in Sierra Leone today is owned by a foreigner. You cannot be coming to our country and take everything that will make us develop, and then you still treat us as inferior people, as if we don't know what we're doing. The sense about us celebrating independence, I don't know why we celebrate independence, because we are not free.
I'd like to pick up one of the threads you've just mentioned, which is a functioning social contract. That is, between the state and its citizens, where a crime is committed, people agree on the policing of that, how you investigate it, how you hold accountable. One of the most fundamental corruptions of the social contract in human history is colonialism.
Yeah.
And it's that mechanism that some states have used to extract resources from other places, such as Sierra Leone. That deprives countries of the resources they need for government services, for education, for health. So I was hoping you could reflect a little bit on what those forces have done to Sierra Leone and what kind of accountability we might be able to think about, just to imagine a way forward from where we've begun now.
When you look at what Sierra Leone have to offer, when it comes to our mineral resources, the kind of mineral resources we have in our country is enough to take care of everybody in that country. We should not have a single poor person in Sierra Leone. But unfortunately, we are not given the free will to make decisions on our own mineral resources. There's always Big Brother who decides. And when you fight and say, no, we are not going to do this, they use the system to stop you. It's either they set you up with the opposition and they'll be supporting the opposition against you from the back, or they cause unnecessary chaos in your country so that you are not able to even govern your own people. They will do things to make you not to be functionable. And of course, any country that don't have peace cannot develop. You have to have peace before you talk about development. I'll give you a simple example about Sierra Leone. Every mining company that is in Sierra Leone today is owned by a foreigner. Every mining company. If it's not the Chinese, it's the American, it's the British. Our electricity, Bumuna, is run by the British, and we still don't have light. We're looking for light, electricity. If you don't have electricity, how can you talk about education? How can you talk about health facility? How can you talk about improving the infrastructure of your country? We don't have electricity. Now, do we actually even have proper water, pipe-borne water, so that our kids will not be sick? We don't have those facilities. Why? With all the minerals we have, there is a cap you put. Before my husband became the president of Sierra Leone was benefiting, they said, what's the word? 0.000.1%. What is that? Basically, a company can take as much as $100 million out of the country in terms of minerals, and then they can just give the country $10,000. Now, what will $10,000 do for our health system? What is $10,000 do for our educational system? And these are the things I believe that are stopping Africa from progressing. We don't have a say. The sense about us celebrating independence, I don't know why we celebrate independence, because we are not free. That is my own take. I'm not speaking also on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, nor am I speaking on behalf of His Excellency the President. I am speaking as Fatima, as a citizen of a country who believes that things need to change.
I join you in that sense. I'm Jesse, I'm a person. Fatima is a person. We agree. I see you. I value your perspective, and I want to find a way forward. Right? Neither of us likes the status quo.
No.
We see women and girls being oppressed. We see patriarchy stronger than ever. And we see colonial forces that persist without accountability. So it's one part to elucidate the problems that come from that. The many sequelae of extraction include inadequate remaining resources to develop as a state, to do all the things that people want to do for themselves. Provide education, provide health care. So I wonder, as we think just as two citizens of the world committed to a better humanity, where do we go from here? Do you have any practical ideas about where we might start? Or collective ideas that we might gain support for?
I feel Africa, patriotism is very important. You have to love your country to want your country to be a better place. Patriotism, I think we have to have that sense of patriotism in our countries, and our leaders also should be subjected to that. You know, it is not only when you were talking about election and then everybody come out and celebrate, and after election, that's it. Accountability. Who accounts for what is happening? Who is the one who is changing the narrative of what is happening? Like I said, as a First Lady, I am not part of a government system. I am a wife of a president. So when I speak on behalf of the people, because I understand what the people are going through. At the end of the day, I'm not being paid salary, and I cannot be fired either. So that's the advantage. That's the advantage of being a First Lady. But I believe that for Africa, what is happening in Africa today, it needs to change, and it needs to change now. There is no time like now, because for Sierra Leone, we now have a president who believe that we cannot wait for other people to come and develop us. We cannot wait for another country to come and prescribe how our country should be run or what we need in our country. You know, this divide and rule, if you're close to China, we will not come to your country. If you're close to America, we will not come to your country. I mean, the fight that is between England, Europe, America, China, Russia is not a Sierra Leone fight. That's not our problem. We're fighting for our daily bread. We're looking to have education, just like America. We're looking to have good health facility. Just like Europe, we're looking to have governance structure where one single person cannot be the dictator of a nation. That's what we're looking for. And in that process, we're going to be allies to everybody who wants us to grow. But if we now align ourselves with someone, and then this other person now feel offended that, oh, you know, I'm coming from China now. I flew in, I've gone around the world to get to Boston, you know. I went to China and then come here. Before here, I went to England and then flew into America. For me, I am not restricted where I should go or who I should be talking to. I am going around the world to see a country that sees Africa not as not just as an ally of what you'll be getting from us, but a country that sees Sierra Leone as partners and treat us with respect. You cannot be coming to our country and take everything that will make us develop, and then you still treat us as inferior people, as if we don't know what we're doing. I think that is wrong. You know, we're looking for partners that value us. People that will come to our country and say, you know what, this country has suffered enough. They need to grow. We were once the atom of Africa. Every country within sub-Saharan Africa used to come to Sierra Leone for our education. And today, what can we be proud of? We cannot talk about education in Sierra Leone because they've ruined that for us. Everything that has empowered Sierra Leone has been ruined. And now we have a leader who wants to fix everything. There is a problem. In Africa, you should not have a leader that is assertive, a leader that knows what his people want, a leader that wants to change what is happening. The moment you have that, it's everyone's target. And then they find reason to slow you down, they find reason to stop you, and they use that system of corruption. They use corrupt people, they use negative people, they use unpatriotic citizens to come after a government who is doing what is right for a system. I think we need to address those issues.
Let me take a deep breath before I continue, because this is a whole lot to swallow. She said, we are not given the free will to make decisions on our own mineral resources. There is always a big brother who decides. Let's pause and ask this question. Who is this big brother? We already know the answer. It is the US, the UK, and their allies. These foreign powers decide which African leaders succeed and which one must be removed. And if a leader refuses to obey, they make sure their government is ungovernable for them. They make sure that the government fails. The First Lady confirmed this. She said, if you say no, I'm quoting her words by words now. She said, if you say no, they use the system to stop you. They set you up with the opposition and support them from behind, or they create unnecessary chaos so you cannot govern your people. The reality of GoodLuck Jonathan. Does this sound familiar? Because this is exactly what happened to GoodLuck Jonathan. He refused to be a puppet. He was strengthening Nigerians' independence. And what happened next? They used Boko Haram to make Nigeria ungovernable for him. They refused to sell him weapons to fight terrorism. They funded the Chibok Girls campaign to turn public opinion against him. They backed APC as the only solution. And guess what? Nigerians fell for it. Now, let's quickly connect the dots. I told you guys I have a whole lot to share with you all, and I don't even know if this video will permit me. So, we now have undeniable proof that Obama's government actively worked against Nigeria by using the USAID to secretly channel money into humanitarian programs, which we now know was actually funding Boko Haram, pushing APC into power by creating an artificial security crisis that made Nigerians desperate for change. Even David Hundeyin and other independent journalists have confirmed this. Obama deliberately weakened Nigeria because Jonathan was not playing by their rules. And the evidence is clear. As soon as Buhari took over, the US immediately lifted all restrictions. The same people who demanded Jonathan's resignation were now silent while the country burned. Now the truth is coming out and they are panicking. I saw a video of Obama's judge saying that she don't know what they have on the... Let me let you guys watch this video first.
People of this country are being violated because all of our privacy is being taken up by Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us. We don't know what all they have on us.
I don't know if you paid attention to her last statement. We don't know what they have on us. So why are you afraid of what they have on you? What happened to that statement that says clear conscience fears no accusation? That's to tell you. These people, they are dangerous. And even in their old age, they don't want to repent. Immediately, Elon Musk discovered all their shady businesses. A direct order was given for everything that was obtained to be destroyed. They called it illegal. Illegal to investigate financial mismanagement, to investigate what you used billions of dollars for.
And it seems hard to believe that judges want to try and stop us from looking for corruption, especially when we found hundreds of millions of dollars worth, much more than that, in just a short period of time. We want to weed out the corruption, and it seems hard to believe that a judge could say, we don't want you to do that. Well, so maybe we have to look at the judges, because that's a very serious, I think it's a very serious violation.
Some of you don't really understand this thing, but I'm going to let you guys watch a video of how Barack Obama ordered for the contract of those who really came to fight Boko Haram to be terminated in a sovereign nation. Watch the video because I'm not making these things up.
Approximately 5 or 6 weeks into the training of the hostage rescue team, we were asked to change our mission. And that mission was to go to a town called Maiduguri in northeast Nigeria that had come under severe threat of Boko Haram. We then rapidly had to transition what we were doing and suddenly train a very offensive force with a minimum of equipment, and we rushed to Maiduguri We met with the 7th Infantry Division commander. We finally understood the pressures he was under, and our suggestion was to him that this force we had trained, which we named the 72nd Mobile Strike Force, would actually spearhead the division. But we were never allowed to execute the entire operation. So in 1 month, we took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing. I think President Jonathan's government possibly saw the entire Boko Haram contract, if we call it that, almost as a last gasp in order to regain popularity. The incoming president, President Buhari, was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US, and I'm not saying that the United States is bad. I understand foreign interests, but I would have thought that a threat such as Boko Haram on the integrity of the state of Nigeria ought to be actually a priority. It wasn't.
Why do you think the US would intervene to abort such operation?
Again, I can't answer that. I think that the US can answer, but what I've come to realize, that is when a government's foreign interests clash with the state's own domestic interests, conflict is bound to ensue. And those conflicts usually just continue with no end. And we can look at all the conflicts in Africa where foreign forces have come in, they've prolonged those conflicts, they haven't ended those conflicts. And the amount of money and manpower and equipment thrown at those conflicts says to me that something is wrong if no end result is achieved. And surely that end result should be to end the conflict and establish a basis for negotiations, come to an agreement, and then re-establish governance. But that's not what's happening in Africa.
It is just deep. It is deeper than you and I can even think or imagine. And at this point, I'm not really angry with Obama's government or the US government anymore. The people I'm most angry with right now is the Nigerian government. The people that decided to gamble with the lives of their own citizens just to be in power because of power. It is well, my people. I think I will have to end this video. To be honest, like I said before, I have a lot to share with you guys, but you can see this video is getting longer than necessary already. So we'll end it here. Maybe, hopefully, we continue from the next episode, or we just do something else completely, because these people, even if you talk from now till tomorrow, Nigerians will still choose to believe what they want to believe, and they will never ask for accountability. So what's really, and it is painful. I saw a video of some soldiers crying that Boko Haram has dislodged them, and if you look at it, if you see, I beg, I'll end this video here and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Remain blessed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please share your thoughts with me on the comment section, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.